So good to be back.
How was
So good to be back. I went on spring break with my family. You know, I have two daughters. One's in middle school and one's in elementary school. So that was our spring break. So we went on spring break. Then I went to beautiful New York City. Get a rope. That's where we did the Tout Wars draft head to head. I'm in the head to head points league, which don't play head to head, don't play points, but there I was. I did the best I could, Mike V. But you know, it's funny. Like I drafted these sheets. Or I printed out these sheets, you know, like old school sheets, and I was looking at it. I was like, you know, I was basically looking at point, you know, projections for plate appearances and for points, and you know, just using, you know, trying to do that. And I have a subscription to RotoWire, so I looked at that, but. You know, it's funny. I just ended up picking the same players I always pick, or drafting the same players I always draft. You know what I mean?
I hear you, man. We were actually watching you live on the Pallazzo podcast, myself and Michael Govier on Sunday. We saw the back of your luscious hair and your head, along with Sammy stroking his beard. So it was a good times noodle salad. We were rooting for you guys. I think we were watching when Wilson Contreras went off the board. I think there was a bidding war for him.
Yeah, that was late, but that was pretty much towards the end of the draft. I remember that. I made a lot of mistakes, Mike V. I did it again. Oops, I did it again. Me and Brittany. I could have gone a couple more dollars and gotten Schwarber, which in a points league is awesome because batting average doesn't count. Right. I could have gone a couple dollars more and gotten James Wood because batting average doesn't count. I mean, I just. And then I had more money left over because, like, Drake Baldwin went for about $6 less than I thought he would, than his AAV. It was just weird. You know, I need to learn how to adjust in a live draft like that. But what about you, brother? How have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been working my ass off this week. So fair warning, I'm dog tired, but
don't worry, man. I'll get your juices going.
Yeah, I know you will, buddy.
I'm going to punch your buttons.
I know you will.
Getting you all fired up.
Yep.
Talk about the Hall of Fame. Talk about
slow
Pete
drafts.
Rose. I'm just kidding.
Slow drafts as well. Can we talk about slow drafts?
Set up your cue, big dog.
That's right.
It's Mike V's sleepy time.
That's right. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. It's just myself and Britton Allan today. Michael Govier will be on later tonight with Andy Bell. Make sure you guys check that out. That'll be a good show. He also did a show with, I can't remember who he did a show yesterday.
Somebody named Steve.
Yeah, that's who it was. But yeah, if you guys, that was almost 2 hours. I watched a little bit of it when this morning at work, but if you guys want to check that out, make sure you go back to the Pallazzo podcast YouTube channel, check that out as well. Britton, we are about a week away from opening day, my friend. It is I can't believe it's finally here. You know, we got all the drafts, all the prep. I was just saying to myself, like, hey, next Sunday is going to be our first fabulous waiver wire Sunday show, and that feels like it was like just yesterday we were doing that, and now it's back again, man. So I'm excited
too. And you know what I really loved was the WBC games. Obviously the United States lost in a very close match to Venezuela, but I watched the USA games too, but I watched the other games too. Like the Dominican Republic just steamrolled everybody. There was like mercy rule games
which is crazy.
It was a lot of fun. So that was great to watch. And that's, you know, spring training games. Like I'll watch it, like I'll put it on, but after like the fifth inning and, you know, Joe Blow, you know, meat grinder guy is pitching and you're just like, whatever. But those WBC games were awesome. Did you get to catch any of those?
I did. I caught the one we were playing. Oh shit, who was it?
Italy.
I don't even remember. No, was it Italy?
We lost to Italy. Oh no, was it? I think we lost to Italy, and then they had to beat Mexico for the United States to advance, which they did.
I saw the Harper home run, and he was running the bases and pointing to the flag and stuff. It was a good game. I think Mark DeRosa is kind of an idiot, maybe just in terms of him not starting Gunnar Henderson, and he was like trying to justify it to himself when he was like 6 for 8 off Luis Severino, and then Gunnar proceeds to hit a home run. I'm an O's fan, obviously, so I admit a little bit of a bias, but at this point in the stages of their career, Britton, wouldn't you say it's probably a safe bet to start Gunnar Henderson over Alex Bregman in a World Baseball Classic?
It depends on who's hot. Like I don't know. Is Gunner's defense as good as Bregman's at third? I don't know. But but I will say this. I took a very unpopular position on that whole
let's
Mark
hear it.
DeRosa. It was very I got some pushback that wasn't very nice. Insulted my intelligence, Mike V.
Whoa, wow, dude.
People were saying that I was an idiot, that I was foolish, that I didn't know what I was talking about. And I'm like, yes, but Mark DeRosa didn't give up 3 earned runs. Nolan McLean did.
Heard that.
He was getting cheddar chopped out there. That had nothing to do with DeRosa. I was like, in that one pitcher, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Brad Keller. He like took a ball and threw it into the stands for no good reason, and that led to 3 unearned runs. So that's 6 runs that had nothing to do with coaches' decisions or anything. So I get it. You're the manager. You need to know the friggin' rules. I got you. But
that's what I meant when I said it.
You're right. Of course you're right. Of course that's true. But it's, it's like, oh, these players are like getting a pass. Like they effed up, and
hey,
you're
right, dude.
Yeah, but look, it's like, look. At the end of the day, the USA got their shot to win the title, and they didn't because Venezuela was just too good. They were
they were the best team throughout the whole tournament, so I'm not surprised they won, and we almost won too. It's not like we got our doors blown off. It was a good game. We were tight. The World Baseball Classic is fun to watch. I didn't get a chance to watch a whole lot of it, and that was not by design. It's just, during the week and at night and things like that. My wife have very few moments to get to enjoy each other without kids and things like that too. So it's one of those things where you kind of pick and choose your battles. But I'm excited for the regular season to start as well. But Britton, the point of today's show is Ask Me Anything. That's what the AMA stands for in the upper right-hand corner of the screen.
Ooh,
we have our first question. Anything you want.
I get to ask you anything. No, I'm scared.
Asan Filippo. I don't think I've seen your handle here before, buddy. If you're new to the YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. He says, thoughts on Hunter Goodman this year? Do you prefer him or Augustine Ramirez? I know Britton's answer to this because he's not a big Gus guy. So I believe, Britton, you're with Hunter Goodman. Is that right?
I'm a Hunter Goodman guy. Hunter Goodman went to the University of Memphis. Shout out Tigers. Go Tigers. So I like Hunter Goodman a lot. He hit like over 30 home runs last year. He powered up. He leveled up.
Yep.
Augustin Ramirez is good too, but look, he's terrible behind the plate. Anytime the Marlins play somebody with Augustin Ramirez behind the plate, there are going to be 6 or 7 stolen bases, and that's not good for the pitcher. Everybody's running around. He's trying to concentrate, and the bases are going wild. And Augustin Ramirez airmails the ball to second. So unless Yao Ming comes out of retirement and plays second base,
that'd be fun.
Freaking Marlins, their mistakes will be made. It's not getting better during the spring training from the games I've seen. He's like regressing, or he's in his head, or he's got the yips. I don't know. And that's something that can be learned with experience. Like Augustin Ramirez for the Marlins is a young catcher. But give me Hunter Goodman, Colorado, blah, blah, blah. I think the Colorado Rockies lineup is not terrible. I mean, it's not great. Don't get me wrong, but he's
AJ Rumsfeld, man.
Hey, Rumsfeld. Count Dracula. Yeah, I don't know. But Hunter Goodman is going to bat second or third every day. He's one of their best players. So I'm down with Hunter Goodman. What say you, Michael Virginia?
I'm with you, man. I'm 100. This is a Rockies podcast. I like Augustin Ramirez from an offensive perspective. I do think they'll probably try to hide him somewhere on the field, whether that's DH or first base, and obviously some catchers. So I think he'll rotate between 3 of those spots. It's always nice, Britton, when you get a double-digit steal guy that from your catcher. So always nice to have that. That's a plus in fantasy. And his underlying metrics from the hitting profile looked really good last year. But give me Hunter Goodman here. I think he's got more pop, and obviously plays half his games in Coors Field. So that's always something worth noting there.
Tours. Hey, Mike That's V, right. Look what I found in my drawer. What's that say? Coors.
Sam Elliott there for you guys who don't know who that is. But yeah,
I'm like a frat boy, Mike V.
I love
I'm 48 years old. And I've got like empty beer cans just lying around, like some idiot at like the Delta Chi house or something.
No.
At some point, I'm going to grow up, Mike V. At some point, you watch out.
Oh yeah, we're waiting, man. We're waiting. So, Asan Filippo, hope that answers your question. We're both 2 for 2 here, Hunter Goodman. I don't have any shares, Britton. I've actually found myself, you know how I found myself having a lot of shares of catcher-wise?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I shorted out.
That's okay.
Repeat it?
Do you know who I have a lot of catcher shares of?
I'm going to say Drake Baldwin, because I've been banging that drum like the little drummer boy on Christmas Eve. Do you know how the little drummer boy song goes for Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we don't need to get religious or anything here, but that's me. I'm the little drummer boy. It's Christmas Eve. Drake Baldwin is coming down my chimney with the red thing on, with the reindeer. So I think I got into your head. Is that right?
100%. You are very good at that, my friend. I have a lot of shares of Salvador Perez, and I'm going to tell you why. Obviously, I don't like the age aspect of Salvador Perez, right? He's a little long in the tooth. But would it surprise you to know, Britton, despite his age, the dude played like 155 games last year for the Kansas City Royals, and the dude is just a tank. He plays, okay? He's not going to help you out in terms of runs scored, but he hit 30 home runs last year, 100 RBIs. That's like what he does, right? The Royals lineup is better. Carter Jensen's going to spell him behind the dish from here and there, so he'll go between catcher and first base. But with catchers, I don't think we talked about it enough on this year, but for me at least, when I look at a catcher, I want volume. I want a catcher that's going to be playing close to every day. And if he's going to be giving me 30 homer pop and 100 RBIs and knocking in guys like Bobby Witt, Vinny P, Michael Garcia, I'll take that every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. And he's going much later.
Fences in too. Don't forget that.
Yep, absolutely. And you're 100% correct. So I have a lot of shares of Salvador Perez, and I wish I had more, to be honest. I'm in 9 leagues, and I think I have 5 shares of him.
I thought you were the Carter Jensen guy.
I do.
I've been hearing Mike V talking up Carter Jensen's all this and a bag of chips. Spicy nacho Dorita chips is what Mike V's into these days. So have you just locked down, which is not a bad strategy, actually. I kind of like it. So do you lock down Perez and then back him up with Carter Jensen later in the draft?
I have one league where I did that and where I have both of those guys. It's a 1-catcher league, and I don't like doing that, but there wasn't anybody on the waiver wire that I was like, I felt like I had to roster, and Carter Jensen was a guy that was my last pick in a draft. So it was a home league draft, but a lot of guys probably don't know who he is yet. So I kind of took advantage of that. But, Salvador Perez, like I said, is volume. 155 games last year. He's healthy. He's a tank. He's a horse. He's going to hit 25, 30 homers. Won't hurt you terribly in batting average, but he's not going to win it for you either. And the RBIs will be there. So from a catcher perspective, I'll take that. Obviously I would love to have more runs and stolen bases, but you get that elsewhere in drafts, and he's going much later than the other guys that people are taking on him on. So,
that's a great point. Salvador Perez, and you look at his hard hit metrics, it's all there. Like there's no sign of a decline. Now it's going to come eventually. And it does for every single player, every single human being. Time wins, but he's showing those signs. And you could argue he's probably pretty energized from the Dominican Republic, excuse me, Venezuela. Yeah. Because he was team captain on Venezuela.
Yeah. Yep. Bizza Rizza Jizza, who is in a lot of my leagues, actually. He's in the Big Dog Invitational League #1. He asks, will I finish 20 games plus ahead of Mike VA in the Big Dog Invitational again this year? It's time. Best time of the year, boys. Wishing you both success and good health on your teams in 2026. Thank you, Bizza. I appreciate it,
Thank
man.
you, sir.
I hope, man. I hope you have a blast in the Mike Virginia Invitational. I hope you win it all, man. That'd be great.
Hey, Bizza Rizza Jizza, appreciate the kind words, man. Do you get in the leads with Mike V because you know who he likes?
Yes, probably.
Or are you in leagues with him because you know you can beat him all the time? Like, don't worry, Mike
Probably
V's
both.
a big boy. He can handle the truth. Let us know what your strategy there is.
He can handle both, or he does. It's probably both. He knows all my players that I like, and then he knows how to kick my ass too. Mike Pena says, if you had a choice between Yordan Alvarez and Roman Anthony, who are you choosing, Britton?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. I know this is going to be crazy, but I think I'm going to take Yordan Alvarez for a bounce back year this year. Roman, I know. Throw your pen up in the air, wave your hands like you just don't care. Roman Anthony, look, he had a great WBC. He looks legit. But remember, he's a rookie. A rookie is a rookie is a rookie. It's just, and he could be the best rookie ever. He could be Acuna, right. in 2018 or 2019, whenever he debuted. I don't know. But he also got hurt last year. I know Yordan Alvarez gets hurt all the time. I just have this weird feeling, Mike V, and I know you think the opposite. I just have this weird feeling that Yordan Alvarez is going to have a bounce back year. What do you think? Is that a bunch of BS?
No, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I don't have any shares of Yordan, and it's because of completely sour grapes. Yeah, completely sour grapes. I'm not saying he's a bad player. There's too much of a bad taste in my mouth where I'm not drafting him. That's probably stupid when it comes to fantasy baseball, but it is what it is, and I'm not drafting him. So by default, Mike, I'm going to take Roman Anthony here. But to Britton's point, who brought this up on the show probably, a month ago, Britton, his ground ball rate was extremely high. He needs to get the ball in the air more.
51%. Can't play like that. Can't do that.
Yeah, and you can't hit the top of the order or the middle of the order hitting like that. So for Roman Anthony to be successful this year, he's going to have to start lifting the ball up a little bit, which he did in the World Baseball Classic, where they had 2 runs total. One of the homers was hit by Gunnar, the other Roman Anthony. So, again, hopefully we see more of that this year. But I think Roman Anthony is a 5x5 player. Would not surprise me if we're drafting him in the top 40 picks next year. But Yordan Alvarez, great track record when he plays. Just got to stay healthy. So
I want Roman Anthony next year. I want him next year. He's going to have ups and downs. Now, could he be Nick Kurtz? Yeah, maybe. Could he be Colby Thomas? Just as likely. So we'll see. He's talented though, but I'm going to let him. I'm going to let him do the learning curve this year, and then he's going to be a top target.
You're going to let him marinate. You're going to let it marinate a little bit.
Look, he's got a bunch of good players on the Boston Red Sox. It's a great place to hit. But like you said, that ground ball rate's a killer. That's a 12 home run ground ball guy right there. According to the math. Now, the math can change. I understand that. But, yeah, so I'm going to let Roman Anthony. I nominated him in Tout Wars. He was my first nomination ever in Tout Wars. You know, Mike V, you never forget your first. AMA, who was your first? Just kidding. Don't answer that.
Yeah, I hope my wife's not listening.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't your wife? Weird. Nope. Anyway, so Roman Anthony, I'm tied forever with. I threw him out for $15 and he went for 25, I believe.
Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, so to hopefully, Mike, if that answers your question, it's a little difficult there, but if I'm playing with my head and not my heart, I'll probably go Yordan just because of the ground ball rate here, right? So
you're never going to get him cheaper.
Yeah,
you have to remember it was only a couple years ago where Yordan batted 300 like a Big Papi season. Like he's not that far removed. He's still young. I'm going to give Yordan Alvarez another shot.
Yep. Another question from Asan Filippo. He wants to know our outlook on the Tampa Bay Rays with their move back to the Trop. Is there anyone that we're downgrading? Asan, this is the thing with Tampa Bay. I'm probably in on guys like Drew Rasmussen now. And I know a lot of people don't like
missile?
Brian Pepio. Yep. But I know a lot of people don't like it, but I am. And it's not because of the 7K performance he just had the other day. I'm in on Shane McClanahan, man. I think at the price that you're getting him at, it's worth taking a shot at. So, and with that ballpark, hopefully he stays healthy. In terms of downgrading anybody, like hitter wise, I don't know if there's much in terms of like if it's moving the needle that much for me where I'm downgrading somebody. Like Junior Caminero is going to be Junior Caminero no matter where he plays at.
He's going to be awesome. He hit 40 home runs last year.
Yeah.
I know it's a different park, but I don't care. Like, did you watch that guy during the WBC? Yeah. He's friggin' awesome. That's like end of story. Stop the press. Like, he's friggin' awesome. Junior Caminero is going to bust out this year. I love Juniors. I don't care where he hits. I really don't.
Yeah, neither do I. He's going to be able to hit it out no matter where he plays. And then the other guys on this team, like Jonathan Aranda, Yandy Diaz.
I love
a lot
Aranda.
of these guys. Yeah, a lot of these guys aren't really big power guys to begin with anyways. Like they're decent pop guys, but you're getting a lot of average and OBP from them. So same thing. It doesn't really matter where they're playing at. It's not really their game.
Mike V.
But yeah.
This lineup is garbage. Okay, I'm sorry. I love the Tampa Bay Rays. I want them to be successful, but after Diaz, Aranda, and superstar Caminero, it is straight trash. It is embarrassing. It makes me worried for Rasmussen, Pepio, McClanahan, and Nick Martinez. Nobody's drafting him. Steven Matz. Yeah. God, I hope nobody drafts him either. But
Jovier was just talking about him. He's all in on Steven Matz.
Who is?
Jovier.
Okay. Sounds good. I hear that, but to each their own. But man, look, go to roster resource and look at this. Like Cedric Mullins is a cleanup hitter, then Jake Fraley, Gavin Lux. Oh no. He hit like 5 home runs and 600 plate appearances last year in Cincinnati. Oh God! And then Tyler.
I have to say it's not Govier. It was Marty Tallman who was in on Steven Matz. Sorry, Gov.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. Hey, look, Steven Matz used to be a big time prospect. Remember when he got called up by the Mets and he pitched, and I think he hit like 3 home runs because that was back before the NLDH.
Yep.
I think he hit like 3 home runs in his first game as a pitcher. But anyway, I digress. Yep. But yeah, so you've got Taylor Walls. Chandler Simpson, I mean, he steals, but he can't play defense for.
Hey! Watch it now. That's my guy.
Nick Fortes, what? Oh my God!
But here's the thing with the Rays.
Competitive team, Mike.
Here's the thing with the Rays. They always find a way. They're always in the thick of things. And it would not surprise me to see guys like Carson Williams get called up. Their shortstop prospect. He's
not a hitter. He's never been a good hitter.
Well, he showed some pop last year in the majors. They were playing at that smaller ballpark, but I think he's a guy that can come up and help them for sure.
Caminero, man, he's got the weight of Florida on his shoulders.
His back.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But here's the thing: they pitch well. They have Griffin Jackson to shore up that bullpen. They got to get healthy. Garrett Clevenger, Edwin Uceta, those guys got to get healthy. But for the most part, like I said, I probably agree with you. They're very top heavy. But the Rays always find a way. So we'll
Mike
see.
V. Junior Caminero is 22 years old.
We got a lot of good years left.
Jeez Louise.
Yep. B. Henny says, "What's up, gang? What's up, B. Henny? How you doing?"
Hey, what up, B. Henny?
He wants to know, do you guys see Raleigh as being the top catcher again? If not, who should we keep an eye out for? Hot take here, not a hot take, but I've been saying this, and actually it's not really hot because a lot of people probably agree with me on this. No, I don't think Cal Raleigh is going to be the top catcher again. I think he probably digresses more back to the norm. Could he still hit 30, 40 home runs? Of course, but I don't think the batting average will be there. Last year was just an unreal year. I just don't think there's a way he replicates that. But give me Shea Langoliers to be catcher number 1 this year in Oakland. In Sacramento, I apologize. Anybody in Sacramento I want
West
on my team.
Sacramento, Mike V, not Sacramento.
Sorry, West Sacramento. Brent Rooker, Tyler Soderstrom, Shea Langoliers, any of those power hitters.
Nick Kurtz.
Yeah, all those guys are going to hit 30 plus again this year. So I think Shea Langoliers has the chance to be the catcher 1 this year, probably anywhere between 40 and 50 home runs. He played like 127 games last year too, Britton. Imagine if he played like close to 140 or 150. He'd
Good
have
batting
well,
average,
yeah,
hit home runs in a lineup at a AAA ballpark. I
yeah.
love Shea Langoliers. You and I have been on the Bengaliers bandwagon. Ooh, alliteration. All right.
I like that.
The Langoliers Bengaliers bandwagon for a while now. And
That's last year,
so
actually.
yeah, I had him.
Yeah.
I had him a lot of plays last year. Good batting average, good everything. I love Bengaliers. I hope he stays healthy. But don't don't forget about our boy Drake Baldwin batting second.
That's
He's
true.
having a killer spring training, and I know asterisks. It's spring training, but dude,
Yeah.
he's going to bat second for the Braves every day. It's awesome.
Gove says William Contreras is going to be the catcher one this year. He had that weird wrist or finger issue. I can't remember what. I think it was his finger that I think kind of derailed him in the beginning of the season, and then started to turn it back on. His numbers, if you look at it just on the surface, turned out to be just as good as, if not, better than last year or the year before that. I mean, so I could see this Gove. He's being drafted as such. He's being drafted as a top 5 catcher. So I still think Shea Langoliers is the guy to own here, though. Just easy, stupid pop in a AAA ballpark. What's not to like, right? So
Love it.
I got to go there. F says Max Muncy of Oakland, Britton, not Max Muncy of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Max
I like
Muncy
them
of
both,
the
Mike V. I like them
Athletics.
both. One's a third baseman, the other one's second and short.
Yep.
Eligible. Max Muncy for Oakland is killing it. What are the odds that 2 players named Max Muncy came through the Oakland organization? I'm not sure.
Kind of crazy.
Powerball situation there, but yeah, Max Muncy's killing it this spring with power. Is it a hot streak? Yeah, is it a fluke? Is it real? I don't know, but just like you said a moment ago, I want all the players that play in West Sacramento, spring, summer. I want all of it. So yeah, if you're in a deeper league, heck yeah.
Max Muncy in Yahoo qualifies at like 3 positions. I want to say he qualifies at second, short, and third, and he's hitting 405 this year, Britton, in spring, with 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, a 490 OBP, and a 1.300 OPS. So Max Muncy's a guy. Yeah, Max Muncy's a guy who's probably going to play a lot on this team as well. So I like this as a flyer.
Draft Brandon Lau. Don't call me low. Brandon Lau, in round 10, 11, 12, and then take a flyer on Max Muncy with one of your last picks, just in case Brandon Lau gets injured. Then you can just put in Muncy, and you don't have to go to the waiver wire for it.
Gove is, I don't know if you knew this or not, he's in his main, he's picking number 8 in the live chat here. He's picking 8th in his main event. But Govier, if you're still in the live chat, I want to know who you're going to be targeting at 8. If you're able to tell us, you probably want to keep that close to the chest, though, I'd imagine. But if you want to, let us know.
Man, all the first round players are good. They're all good. Yeah. It's just if you get lucky, or how lucky do you get with injuries?
Scooble's probably there, right? Yeah.
At 8, not in an NFBC main event. I bet Scooble goes like 4th.
Really? You think he goes that high?
Push it in NFBC leagues, especially those high dollar leagues. Pitching, especially starting pitching, gets pushed way up. Yeah, but I would target Crochet, or I don't think Skeens will be there, but I would target Crochet at number 8. What do you think? I mean, you could go Fernando Tatis Jr. Sure, you could go. I mean, you could reach for Junior Caminero. You're probably not reaching for a third baseman, but what do you think? So I guess your decision is to first you need to have a plan. Like, am I taking one of the top 3 starting pitchers if they're there, or am I not? It's kind of like one of those tree things. Like yes, no. Like, am I targeting one of those 3 pitchers? If the answer is no, then you go, okay. Well, then do I want Julio Rodriguez? Fernando Tatis, maybe Ellie De La Cruz. I've seen him fall to 8 in some leagues when pitchers get pushed up. What do you think?
And we talked about this on the show, Govier and I did on Sunday. I think it's good to go in with a plan of attack too, but you got to, like you mentioned earlier during tout, you have to be able to pivot because you might go in with a plan and that plan can be completely effed the time it gets to you. So you got to be able to have a couple guys in your queue, big dog.
Set up your queue, big dog.
Yeah, that you can pivot to. So Govier in the chat saying maybe Acuna.
Yeah.
Star's saying he probably won't last later than the 5th, which I would be shocked if that happened. Acuna being drafted that high, but
Oh,
then again, I don't.
he's the hottest riser in fantasy baseball. Acuna through the first
In
round.
a main event though, he's going at no. You think he's going to go in the top 5 picks?
I think it'll go. If the players from the East Coast of the manager, Aaron Judge will go 1.
Yep.
If the manager is from anywhere else in the world, Ohtani will go 1.
Yeah.
And but you have to remember, Jose Ramirez might drop a little bit because of the shoulder issue that popped up. I think Jose Ramirez is going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's one of my I think he's my favorite player, Mike V. Have I ever told you that? I think
you did.
Jose Ramirez for the Guardians is my favorite player, other than maybe Acuna. But Ramirez had that shoulder injury, so he may fall a couple rounds. But what do you think? Do you put any stock into that?
No, I mean, I think that's with Ramirez. Maybe. I mean, they did say he's going to be fine. He just needs to take some time off shoulder. They expect him. He said he feels so much better the day after. But players lie, as our friend Dave McDonald likes to say. So,
he's an old school throwback. He's not, unless his arm literally falls off. Jose Ramirez is going to play. Or the doctors won't let him. One or the other. Right.
Speaking of climbing up draft boards, Matt McClain went another 3 for 3 today, buddy. He's hitting over 540. He's hitting 545 or some shit like that.
I was thinking about Matt McClain the other day, and you know what my thought? You know what my thought was? He's
must draft. Look, he's falling out of his seat, folks. Here's the thing, F. I know you're talking about Max Muncy of Oakland, or sorry, West Sacramento. Would I take McClain or Max Muncy? I think you got to take a shot on both. Would be cool, because if Max Muncy doesn't, or if McClain doesn't work out, you could always go Max Muncy. But McClain is arguably the hottest hitter in spring, and if he's figured it out, we've already seen him have good success in the majors. I'm not shooting him up my draft board by any means, but you're probably gonna have to pay up a little bit to get him, just with all the draft stock or drafts that are still going on and him climbing up draft boards. So I'm a little bit biased. I love Matt McClain. I've never quit on him. I think he had some injuries last year. He has a bigger bat as well this year, longer bat, which is always good.
That's what
you want to have
said,
a longer bat. Hey yo. But playing in that ballpark, just like West Sacramento A's, I like a lot of the Reds this year.
Me too.
I like Matt McClain. I like Spencer Steer this year. I like Britton's boy TJ Friedl hitting at the top of that lineup. Eugenio Suarez, obviously Ellie De La Cruz, Sal Stewart. There's a lot of guys in that lineup to like, and Matt McClain's going to hit where, Britton?
Second. You know where do you know where teams put their best hitters? Mike V, do you know where teams put their best hitters on the team?
Number one or number 2? Yeah,
1 or 2. That's where they put them. And Matt McClain has been their best hitter this spring. And I was out on him last year because of the injury. I think he was injured all year. He looked terrible. There's no way to sugarcoat this. We're grown men here. He was awful last year. But that was last year. We're not drafting for last year. This year, he's looking good. He's looking healthy. He was a top prospect. When he was a rookie, he came out all guns firing like who's that cartoon guy with the beard? He goes, he's the 6 shooters with the beard. Yosemite Sam. That's Matt.
Sam,
that's Matt McClain this year. He's coming out guns blazing, Young Guns. You remember that movie, Young Guns, with Emilio Estevez? Whatever happened to that dude? He was a major movie star in the early 90s. I don't know what happened to him. Charlie Sheen went on to make billions of dollars in kind of crappy
2.5 Men
network television. I don't know. But Wall Street was awesome.
Yeah. This is a good one here, F, and I appreciate the question, but do I agree that his helium is probably a little too rich? Yeah, but it's also hard to ignore. To Britton's point, and I've actually stolen this from you multiple times, Britton, shocker. Spring training is something that people look at it and say, man, it's not that big of a deal. But hey, it beats better than playing well beats playing bad, right? So I'd rather have a guy going into a
success
season
is really better than failure. Newsflash,
I mean, heading into a season for a guy who needs to bounce back desperately. We've seen him have success already at the major league level. Last year he was hurt. The fact that he's already having success in spring and hopefully that carries over. There's just a lot to like, and I'm in. I'm not, like I said, I'm not climbing the ladder too much to get him, but I think his draft price is still reasonable, where you can use him as an MI, or you could use him on the bench, and draft a guy that you can get later just in case as an insurance policy.
I wasn't targeting Matt McClain in that Tout Wars draft. It's a 12-team mixed. So, lots of good players available. It's not one of those only leagues like AL only and only.
Yeah.
But somebody threw him out for $5 and somebody said 6. I said 7. And it was
Love
crickets. I'm like, the 2-hole hitter for Cincinnati for $7. I was like,
what do you like better, Cincinnati Skyline Chili or Matt McClain batting 2?
Look, I'm not going to say anything bad about Skyline Chili. Okay, it's chili. It has meat and spices. It's chili, and they put it on hot dogs with a big, gargantuan hunk of shredded cheddar cheese. I cannot speak ill of such things.
Yeah,
it's not my particular favorite. They put a little cinnamon in there or nutmeg or something. I like it spicy. You know how I like the spices.
Yeah,
I like the Tabasco.
Yeah.
I like the Frank's Red Hot. If you watch the hot ones, I like the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Nashville hot chicken is delicious. I get the hottest hot chicken where I'm sitting in my car eating hot chicken like I went to the bridge under the bridge and got some smack. I'm like sweating. I'm just sitting there eating my hot chicken, got my endorphins firing. So that's me. But
hey, Britton, you could be Matt McClain, or you could be Mark Vientos, who's hitting literally .040. Dude's got good. 1 hit. Yeah. Not looking good there for Mark Vientos.
I've got Mark Vientos in a couple of leagues, like early.
Yeah.
And Bizarriza Jizza mentioned this earlier. If you want to, if we have time later, we're kind of rolling here, but if we have time later, let's go look at one of your early drafts and see what you think. Your beat Mike V draft or whatever, and see what you think. Like, because that was like a couple months ago that we drafted those teams. I don't even know who's on it, but it'd be kind of funny to see. I drafted Esteri Ruiz. Interesting. Okay, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I did it. Yeah.
B Henny wants to know how we like Pete Alonso in Baltimore this year. I like him, obviously. B Henny, I'm biased. He's an O, but I've always loved Pete Alonso. People forget too, like they think because they pulled the fences back in Baltimore that his power is going to be maybe zapped a little bit. A lot of his home runs would have been out at Baltimore as well. So I'm not concerned about the power perspective. Maybe there might be a little bit something to it in terms of draft or now playing over in the AL East, but I still think this is a guy that's easy 35-40 homer pop with a respectable batting average and plenty of run scoring opportunities as well. So I like him. I honestly, I don't think much has changed for me, even from when his time with the Mets over to Baltimore now. So I don't have any shares of Pete Alonso, unfortunately. Britton, do you have any?
No.
Yeah.
I missed that.
In terms of closers, Robert Suarez looking at another top 10 RP, loving the AMA. Thank you, Asan. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. We do these all the time. We do them on Sundays as well. During the season starts, we get you ready for the week. You can ask all your questions. It's fun. So make sure you subscribe, hit the little notifications bell. And if you want, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify podcast. We would greatly appreciate it. Anything you can do to help the show, we would love it.
Yeah, especially if it's a nice review. We did get that one review that I'll never forget, where the gentleman, I assume he was a gentleman, but the guy wrote, "I need."
The guy on the left talks too much.
I need this guy, meaning me, to speak 80% less. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a real specific number, like 80%. Like that was one of my all-time favorite reviews for all the wrong reasons, I guess.
Asan, I talked about Robert Suarez on Sunday's show between Govier and I actually, if I'm drafting a Atlanta Braves closer and he's not projected to be the closer to start the year, it's going to be Raciel Iglesias. But which I'm not drafting, I don't have any shares of him. He had a great second half, so that's obviously great to bank your money on. But I love Robert Suarez too, man. I think him being the surefire 8th guy, and again, he had great success. He's coming off a 40 save season, I believe, Britton. So,
yep.
And he looks great in spring training again. So, it's one of those things where if you draft Rossio Iglesias, are you also backing that up with Robert Suarez given his first half struggles, or are you trying to get both these guys just as an insurance policy?
I'm with you. I don't like to get all the same bullpen pieces. I'm off Iglesias this year. I'm
Same.
also I don't want to mess with the whole love triangle. No, I guess it's not a triangle. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to
Yeah.
mess with the whole. Is it Iglesias? Is it Suarez? I don't want to mess with it. So I try to grab a closer first. But if you are if you don't get Diaz or one of those established closers, I like Kenley Jansen too. I think he's gonna break the record this year for 24 saves that you can get late in drafts. But not break the saves record, but get into the 300 save career. Anyway, have you looked at Matt Svanson
from the Cardinals?
Yes.
Yeah.
The way they're using him in spring training is really interesting. Like you've got Riley O'Brien, who's kind of injured, JoJo Romero.
He sucks anyways, dude.
He sucks anyway. Yeah. Ryan Stanek, dude, that dude sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't care how well he pitches in a couple games, but they're using Matt Swanson in a high leverage. Like it's almost like that dude is poised and ready to become the Cardinals closers. And I don't think the Cardinals are going to be as bad as they were last year. Like Dustin Mays looked pretty decent. Matthew Liberatore is kind of coming around. Like, and they're stretching out Kyle Leahy, and he's pitching really well. So this team is not hopeless. I know you love Jordan Walker. Or wait a minute,
no, I don't.
Is it Jordan Lawler? I get my Jordans confused.
Jordan Lawler, yes. Don't you ever forget it ever again.
I love JJ Weatherholt. I hope he makes the team.
Same.
Alec Burleson is going to hit high in the order. I think he is a great add for first base outfield. Alec Burleson, I think he's going to hit 27 home runs with a 290 batting average. I think he's a good buy that you can get late for Alec Burleson, 27-year-old lefty power hitter. He's going to play first base every day, and he's outfield eligible. But I digress. But yeah, so Matt Svanson is a closer in waiting, a closer spec to keep your eye on. I mean, not in 10 or 12 team leagues, but just keep your eye on that because he's got the stuff. He could be a sneaky, like Dan. You know how nobody knew who Daniel Palencia was last year until he got the closer gig and ran with it until he got hurt for the Cubs. I think that's Matt Svanson this year.
I don't hate that, man. I was looking at him. Frank Stanfield put out a tweet. He pitched in the 8th, and then he also brought him back out for the 9th, and JoJo Romero pitched before him. Riley O'Brien, I believe, was on Team USA, but he also got shellacked the other day, too. So that would not surprise me if we saw Svanson get
Show me your papers, Svanson.
Yeah, exactly. Bizzard wants to know if we have any drafts left. Britton, do you have any more drafts before the regular season starts?
You know what? I don't, but I am going to sign up for some NFBC. They don't do slow drafts anymore, obviously, because the season starts next week. But I will do a couple more, one 60-second clock NFBC. I'm going to sneak in a 150 draft champions, probably this weekend, something like that. So
okay,
all the slow drafts are over. I don't have any home leagues. But I will sneak in a couple more NFBC drafts. What about you?
Sweet. I have one more draft, the Mike Virginia Invitational League number 4. That is a 10-team league, and it is head-to-head cats. A lot of categories that we added, something fun, and the draft price is higher. The buy-in is higher. It's $100 a person. So,
let me ask you a question. Did you do this question already?
No.
I think that's fascinating.
Yeah,
I kind of dissed Messick last year because I watched him pitch and it wasn't impressive. I guess maybe that was his first or second start, but then he really came on and pitched really well. This is Parker Messick for the Cleveland Guardians, and he pitched really well. So I'm kind of a believer now. I have him in a couple dynasty leagues and my auto new leagues. But let's say Messick doesn't make the opening day rotation. Would you drop him for? Is that your favorite Slade Ciccone?
Slade Ciccone, as Govier likes to say.
That's right, Beetlejuice.
We need exactly. We need a button for that, Govier. If you're still watching, we need you saying Slade Ciccone 3 times. I would do this. Slade Ciccone's looked really good this spring. And if you're looking for an arm that can, here's the thing: like, what do you have to manage your expectations?
Would you do him or Joey Cantia?
Joey Quintilla. I would draft
for
him
the
first over
strikeouts.
Slade. Yeah, for the strikeouts for sure. Slade's is not going to win you anything, and he's not going to hurt you anywhere either. I think he's a solid pitcher for ratios, get you a couple Ks. But if Slade Ciccone is still available, Joe, I would go and get him first prior to Slade. So
Don't look at Slade Ciccone's Statcast page if you want
yeah.
to pick up Slade Ciccone, because it will depress you with how
Right.
bad his metrics look. So hey Joe, if I would go look for Ryan Weathers for the Yankees, see if he's available. I would also go look for Jacob Latz for the Rangers. If Jacob Latz gets that fifth SP rotation spot in Texas, I'm super interested. Jacob Latz, we've talked about him before, but I'll just reiterate it again. He looked really good last year when he made spot starts when some of their players went down. Jacob Latz for the Texas Rangers. I would rather pick up both those guys than Slade Ciccone.
Yeah. Are we comfortable with drafting Cole Reagans this year? I am. I love Cole Reagans.
I paid $22 for him in tout. Let's go, Cole Reagans.
Yep. I drafted him in TGFBI right behind Chris Sale, Britton. So
he's giving up. He's getting hit around a little bit in spring training. Okay. But I don't care. This guy, like, per start last year, he was one of the best pitchers, and I know he got injured. But if you're just looking at numbers, looking at stuff, he came back after he got injured. Per start, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. So I'm in on Cole Reagans. This could be a Cy Young year for him.
Yeah, agreed. Speaking of Reagans, Jordan Earhart wants to know 217 Reagans or Logan Webb. This is a fascinating one. This is actually a good question here. What do you think, Britton?
I'm off on Logan Webb because he's a whip killer. Look at his whip. It's not ace stuff. Now he's going to give you 200 plus innings, and I get that, and there's a lot of value in that. But Reagans has the stuff to literally be a Cy Young award-winning season. Now he's got to stay healthy, and Logan Webb's a bulldog. So it's kind of like you're taking. Now, in a draft and hold league, I'd probably go Logan Webb because you're, as guaranteed innings pitched as you can get with Logan Webb. But if I'm in like a 10-team or 12-team redraft, give me Cole Reagans, man. That upside is way outshines Logan Webb. What do you think?
100%. Yeah, I actually do like Logan Webb. I have been out on him for a while as well, but every year I don't draft him. He's just a rock solid guy. So your question here, Jordan, if you're talking about upside or safety, I think safety is going to be Webb. Your ceiling is by far Reagans. I think this is a guy who can give you 220 strikeouts, no problem, if he stays healthy. He's just got to be able to do that. Logan Webb, I think, is great. He's going to be able to get you the Ks. He's going to be able to pitch innings. Decent ERA, great ballpark to pitch in as well. He does have his blow up starts. He's always been on that kind of like that meh. Like I wouldn't leave a draft being super ecstatic that Logan Webb was my ace. Just my personal take on him. He's just, I don't know. There's just something the eye test I don't like about him either. But I like Cole Reagans from a K perspective. I like anybody that's going to be able to have the potential to strike out 200 plus guys and 200 plus guys and be able to pitch in a good team like Kansas City. So, yeah, this is a good point too. Webb is great for a quality start league, but yeah, Webb is shaky.
Yeah, that's totally it. But he's, like I said, innings pitched. I mean, this guy's a bulldog. He doesn't get injured, and there's a lot of value in that.
Yep. Britton, a couple guys I want to talk about really quick because you did put in your tweet that I had some sneaky sleepers. I just really quickly wanted to touch on 4 guys. I'll go through them quickly. The first one is Chase DeLauder. I know we've talked about him a little bit on the show already. Hitting 393 with a homer and 6 RBIs. Everyone talks about how ugly his swing is. Who gives a shit? If as long as he's putting the ball in play.
Who talks about his ugly swing?
Eric Cross brought him up in a tweet, and people were talking about how ugly his swing is, and it's fine. It looks like an old man softball swing, but he's playing Major League Baseball, and we aren't. So that should tell you everything you need to know there. But I like Chase DeLauder as a guy that you can grab later in drafts and for the outfield. So especially if you're playing 5 outfielder leagues, you can do a lot worse. He's got tons of pop. Same thing. He just got to stay healthy. He's had a lot of oblique issues over the years. Went to James Madison. In my neck of the woods down here in Virginia. So
no kidding.
Yep. Carson Benj, I don't know if that's how you say his last name, but of the New York Mets, looks like he's going to make the opening day team. Hitting 406, great OBP, no home runs yet. I think that'll come a little bit later down the road, but I like him. He's going to probably hit 9th in that lineup, and one of their better prospects that they drafted in the first round, 19th overall in 2024. So give me some Carson Benj, and then Will Warren looks great this spring.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's going to be in that rotation. Yeah, a Yankee.
All right.
177 ERA, 20 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, and a .74 WHIP. He's going to be in this rotation until those guys get healthy and ready to go. Carlos Rodon, Garrett Cole, who pitched today, looks pretty good. But Will Warren, I liked a couple of his games last year, Britton. He had a couple. He's got a great fastball, can strike out guys. So this is a short range ad if you need SP. And then lastly, Moises Ballesteros of the Chicago Cubs. I don't know where he's going to see playing time, if he's going to see guaranteed playing time or not. Consistent, I guess, I should say. But hitting 355 with 2 homers and 8 RBIs. Any of those names interest you at all, Britton?
All of them. But yeah. I'm a huge fan of Moises Ballesteros. I bet he is one of my most drafted players. Now, he's UT only in NFBC, and I don't know if he's catcher eligible in Yahoo or Fantrax. Then totally that makes him even more attractive. But he's like one of the best young hitters in baseball. But he may platoon. He may be a lefty DH platoon bat in Chicago for the Cubs. Moises Ballesteros. He is a catcher by trade, but he sucks. So
who sucks more, him or Agustin Ramirez?
Moises Ballesteros behind the plate sucks more. I'm sorry. It's that's just the truth. That's why the Cubs are carrying 3 catchers. Because they can't. Now Moises Ballesteros will make the occasional start, I guess. When the need arises, obviously. But his bats. But long story short, but we don't care about. Who cares?
Yeah.
The point is, Moises Ballesteros is one of the best hitters on the Cubs team. He was so good last year in the playoffs. He came through clutch. Managers and brass remember that S. So they're going to find a place to put his bat in the lineup, and you can get him at the end of your draft, and just put him in your reserve and see what happens. But Moises Ballesteros is one of my favorite hitters to get. He just kind of screams. He's a lefty bat. He just kind of gives me those Kyle Schwarber vibes, baby. Kyle Schwarber was a terrible catcher too. He was even worse in the outfield. But
I forgot he played catcher.
He's a great DH, and I think Moises Ballesteros has got that Kyle Schwarber in him. I love Ballesteros.
Yeah, there you go. So those are the 4 guys that I like, and then obviously somebody already brought up Max Muncy of the A's. I thought he was a little interesting as well. So, but yeah, anybody before we go off air, we got about 5 minutes, and for those of you guys still left in the live chat, please feel free to get your questions in. But Britton, anybody that you haven't talked about yet this draft season that you're starting to tickle your fancy a little bit, even though you don't have a lot of drafts yet?
Brian Abreu has to be more talked about because Josh Hader is starting the season on the IL, and now, but all the reports, I'm fine. It's just going to be a couple of weeks. Maybe. I mean, you had all off season to, be all right, but you ain't all right going in the season. Josh Hader is obviously the awesome closer for the Houston Astros, like a closer who's a max effort 30 on the wrong side of 30 closer. Little worried about it. So I would reach a couple rounds for Brian Abreu, who's awesome anyway, and who's going to close games for the Astros, and see what happens with Hader. Let's say best case scenario, Hader comes back by May. Okay, so he's back by May. Does that mean he's going to make it through May, June, July, August? I don't know. So go ahead and grab Brian Abreu for the Astros, because he could be their closer for the whole season. And if he's the Astros closer, he's good. He's awesome. He's a great pitcher anyway. I mean, he could get 30 saves and he could be your last pick of the draft. I mean, he's that good.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't know if I find it, I'll retweet it out, but there's a video of him throwing, and like you said, max effort. He does not look good. It looked very funky and a little awkward, like he was scared to throw. And I know he's just coming back from injury, so I get that. But to your point, And Dave McDonald's point, players lie, and I would not surprise me to see him out for an extended period if they brush him back too quick. You got a guy who's got elite 30 save stuff in Brian Abreu. So
you're 100% right. And like Google the reports, like the not the manager, but like the director of baseball operations quoted, "We're not going to rush him."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that means they're taking this Josh Hader situation very seriously. Quote, "We're not going to rush him." They're not going to put him. They're not, and plus he's got to do rehab starts in AAA. I mean, we're talking
time, man.
This is going to be months, man. Like Brian Abreu is super valuable.
I agree. Anybody else? Brian Abreu? Anybody else?
I'll tell you what, Uncle Ted nailed it right here. I did watch this today.
So did I.
Do you know who Carlos? It's not pronounced Lagrange. I'm butchering that. But do you know who Carlos Legrand is?
Pitcher for the Yankees. Yes.
Pitcher for the Yankees. He's like 6'3", throws gas, 100-mile-per-hour plus gas, and a killer slider. I don't know. Like, okay, so he's not going to make the opening day starting rotation.
He's going to get sent down.
He's going to get sent down, and Elmer Rodriguez is also somewhere in the stepping, in the ladder too. So we'll see. Yep. But yeah, I keep your eye on Carlos Legrand, and I know I'm butchering that. My apologies.
Come get him, folks.
Come,
in the comments. Go get him.
I've looked at. You sent me the pronunciation guide, and I'm pretty sure he was on there. So I will look at it. I will not butcher it next time. But yeah, this dude is legit. So I love a late flyer. So Mike V, like we're talking about like high upside lottery tickets. I like this guy, Carlos Lagrange, as a last pick flyer in like a 12-team or later league. Moises Ballesteros, like these are guys that can really contribute lottery tickets. Like, don't pick Giancarlo Stanton as one of your last reserves. Like, you just don't do it. Pick one of these high upside guys, Matt Swanson, Brian Abreu. Like, these are lotto tickets, and to win a 12-team league, a lot of things have to go right, but you can also help yourself by winning one of these late picks that hits, because some of these players are going to hit. Like, it's a long season and a lot can happen. So, but the talent is there. So this player Uncle Ted's bringing up, like, this is like one of the standouts of spring training. And yes, it's spring training, but his stuff is crazy nuts. Like Randy Johnson nuts. I mean, we'll see how that translates to the big leagues in the regular season. And he's not guaranteed a even long relief spot, but yeah. Anyway, that was a good call, Uncle Ted.
You know what they say, Britton, or we've said it's going to be the motto for this year's season.
What?
Scared money don't make no money, dude.
We have so many sayings that I forget because we do so many shows.
Yeah.
Didn't we do beignets for a while?
We did.
Like Carpe Diem and Dixon Donuts. We had a segment for that for like a minute.
Yeah.
We need to like
have print some t-shirts, man.
I mean, this year's got to be Set Your Cue, Big Dog. I mean, that's a front runner. That's a runaway winner right there.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I agree with the high upside picks there later in drafts. Like I said, and what I mean by scared money doesn't make money is you can't be scared to place your bets later in drafts, guys. Can't go with the safe bets like Britton just said with Stanton, right? If you want to win your leagues and you hit, and you can't win if you don't play, and you hit on a guy like Moises Ballesteros or somebody else that you're high on that has a lot of upside, maybe not the playing time right away, but maybe the upside later in the year, worth a shot. So
yeah, Ballesteros is great in a points league too because he doesn't strike out; he hits. Right. But like you said, scared money don't make money, but there's a fine line between that and chasing it. Do you know what?
Of course,
you know what gamblers call chasing it. That's when you're on a bad streak and you're like, you just keep putting money down, chasing it. Yep. I'm chasing that win when you're in a hole and you're like, oh, I just win this one bet. I just win this one thing. So
Yeah, there's a fun. I'm
online.
talking about later in drafts, not early on in drafts. And early on in drafts, you want to have rock solid guys that you can trust that are just they're going to be there. Not first year players like Nick Kurtz. We're a little bit of a risky pick for me in the
Chasing
second
it.
round there, Britton. Yep.
Not
So
doing Nick Kurtz. I love you, Nick Kurtz. He's on my auto new league, my Palazzo new league. He's awesome. Not chasing it. Cal Riley, not chasing it.
Yep. You want rock solid guys in the second round, first, second, third, fourth round, whatever we're talking. So much later in drafts. I'm talking about the last 3 picks of your drafts. Take some upside guys and see if you can cash in on some of those lottery tickets. Britton, we're at the top of the hour here, my friend. Anything else you want to get off your chest, big dog, before we head out into the weekend?
I want to tell a quick story about Tout Wars. So it was great to be there. It's like this experts league. It's been going on for 20 years or maybe even longer than that. And I was lucky enough to be invited. And I went up there and I got, they have a bunch of drafts over the weekend in New York. And I got to meet a lot of great people, a lot of names that, you would recognize. Everybody was really nice. Everybody was really cool. It was great being up there. But I want to share one story real quick. So I flew in Saturday and there was like a reception or like a party at a bar in New York on Saturday night. And it's for all the leagues that drafted. And there were like 5 or 6, maybe, or maybe not that many. I don't know. But a lot of people were there that are in the Tout Wars in various leagues. And so I was just there by myself. I walked. Sam Wershing was there. But he got there way early because I flew in late anyway Saturday. Anyway, so long story short, so I go to the bar. I'm drafting the next day, and I'm going there just having a couple beers, hanging out, talking to people, and blah blah blah. But there was one guy I met who I always wanted to meet in person, who I've never gotten a chance to talk to, but I've been listening and watching Razzball for years. I used to be a subscriber. I've since let it lapse because I don't like using draft software anymore. But anyway, so Gray Albright for Razzball. Do you know who he is? Have you heard of him?
Nope. And I mean no disrespect by that if you're watching.
No, none taken. No, so Razzball is one of those sites like RotoWire or it's a fantasy baseball site, and he and Rudy Gamble own it and run it. And Rudy Gamble has won a ton of stuff, and so is Gray. But anyway, so his name's Gray Albright, and he does a podcast, and he's hilarious. Like I listen to the podcast religiously with him and B Don. He used to be like a Hollywood script writer, and then during some strike, he started doing fantasy baseball, and it just took off. Anyway, so I got introduced to him, and so he's really, really funny. And so we talked for a minute, and he's got a very distinct voice and laugh. It's really entertaining. Anyway, so he was nice, and I go, Gray, it's great to meet you. I don't want to fanboy out on you, but just I love Razzball. I've been a huge fan. I've been listening to your podcast for years. It's awesome. It's interesting, and that's all I'll say about it. And he was like, oh, thank you so much. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it. And he goes, so tell me again, which who do you write for? And I go, well, I don't write. I go, I have a podcast. It's called the Pallazzo Podcast. And I could tell. Now, it just lasted a second, but he looked at me like, what the F is that? But then he goes, oh yeah. No, I've heard of that. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, great to have you. But it's funny because you could tell he had absolutely no clue, but he tried to like recover and to be nice, not embarrass me or anything like that. Not that you can't embarrass me. I don't have any feelings or anything. So but it was funny, just to see him try to like, oh yeah, y'all do that thing with the thing. I'm like, yeah,
right. That's us. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
with the thing.
That's funny.
But I he was hilarious. I really enjoyed talking to him, and I could tell a dozen other stories about people you would know, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I hope my team does well. I'm not that confident. I'm not that confident. I made mistakes, but we'll see how it goes. But it was a lot of fun.
Okay. Yeah, I was texting Sam over the weekend, and I had huge FOMO because of all the pictures that he took and posted on his Twitter page of them at bars and everybody hanging out and things like that. Like, not to be all kumbaya, but I think that's cool as shit to be able to have everybody in the industry at a bar drinking beers, talking baseball. That's what it's all about. I miss those times with my buddies in my home league who don't live in Virginia anymore. So be able to go out and do that in a big setting, big city like New York, and draft together, and then go out and throw a couple beers back and talk shit and have fun. That's what it's all about for me. I think that's what's one of the greater things about fantasy baseball.
I think that's why we do this, Mike V, is to hang out with people like us.
Yeah.
You and I could hang out at a bar for 3 days and drink beer, and it'd be a great time. And not that you have to drink or anything, but everybody there was. And this sounds, like I'm sucking up a little bit, but everybody there is really nice. Like, there's no. Everybody's there is cool. They're fun to talk to. They're easygoing.
Right.
Even all the stars or whatever. Like, all the guys at CBS are really great. Like everybody's just cool and nice, and everybody's just they just very welcoming and cool. It's a great community. Whereas, like, it's not as popular as fantasy football. Nothing is ever going to be as popular as fantasy football, but you kind of get the feeling like that community is a little bit of a little D-baggish, a little bit.
Yeah.
But not the case with the fantasy baseball community. It's awesome. So hopefully we'll get you to Arizona at some point. No pressure.
I'm going to try. I told Sam I'm going to try like hell to get out this year. I have to, because
I may not this year either. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to try too, but with work, you never know.
Right. So, but here's the thing: if I'm going, you're going. Get your ass to Mars. So
get your ass to Mars.
That's right. So great deal. Good stuff, dude. I'm really happy that you were able to do that. I was happy for both you and Sam. Sounds like you guys had a really good time, and looked like you guys had a really good time too. So all right. Well, good deal. We are coming up at 8:07. Thank you all for joining, and thank you all for the great questions. Tomorrow night, I just said this earlier on in the show. It's tomorrow night. Michael Govier will be on with Andy Bell. So make sure you guys check that out. And then we'll be on Sunday as well, getting you ready again. Draft prep for those of you guys who maybe have later drafts in the season. We'll still be talking about that. Maybe get some stuff on the record. Maybe we'll do some more bold predictions or something like that, Britton.
And let me say too, please check out the show with Govier, Andy Bell. I met Andy Bell. He is a trip, man. I really like him. He's a big fan of our show. If you like listening to us, you'll love listening to Govier and Andy talk. He is the spitting image of Paul Sporer, like physically, like
doppelganger.
Like doppelganger. Like if Andy Bell commits a crime, Paul Sporer might get arrested for it. Like that. Like exactly. It's like that. It's right. Really. It's almost weird, but it's also endearing too, because they're both nice guys. So yeah. So everybody tune in to Andy Bell on with Govier.
Good stuff. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Check us out tomorrow and as well as Sunday. For myself, Britton, Govier, Robbie Baseball, Big Gentleman, and Sam Wershing. We are the Pallazzo Podcast. 2 L's, 2 Z's. We will see y'all this weekend. Thank you. And
thank y'all.
Bye.
Appreciate you. Thanks for watching.
Carlos Delgado.
Excellent choice. Too bad I got him 3 rounds ago.
You're still on the clock.
Oh, shit!
You gotta do something.
Yeah. Hideki Matsui. You just took my whole outfield.
Sorry, Charlie.
What is this?
Debbie.
What the fuck is this?
It's our fantasy baseball draft. We said no wives.
Your fantasy what?
It's our draft. The fantasy baseball. I told you all about this. Got Matsui.